Hey everybody, in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Spear of the Impaler, which I have equipped here. So this is one of the rewards that you can get after defeating Messmer and turning in his Remembrance of the Impaler to the Finger Reader. I have this upgraded to plus 10, which is max level for this weapon, so we'll take a look at the stats for that, as well as go over the moveset and skill, Messmer's Assault, that it comes with. I'll also talk about some build options and item enhancements that you can use with this weapon, as well as demonstrate some PvE and PvP gameplay so you can see what it looks like in action. Starting off with the stats and info for the weapon, I've got the base version on the left and the plus 10 version on the right. So this is categorized as a great spear and comes with both physical and fire damage. This is primarily a dexterity and faith weapon. Once upgraded to plus 10, you get a B dexterity scale, a C faith scale, and an E strength scale. So in terms of the requirements for those stats, you'll also need a minimum of 14 strength, 35 dexterity, and 18 faith to use it. My character build for this, as you can see on the right, uses 76 dexterity, 50 faith, and the minimum 14 strength, as adding additional points there didn't really have any meaningful effect to the damage or anything. So that's giving me an additional 201 physical damage and 118 fire damage. Moving over to the skill, Messmer's Assault, so you can see the description for that here. A fierce succession of attacks using a flame-coated spear. Repeated inputs allow up to 2 follow-up attacks. The final move thrusts the spear into the ground, causing countless spears to form in the surrounding area. So that first attack is going to cost an initial 15 FP, and then it's an additional 9 FP for the 2 follow-ups, for a total of 33 if you do the full sequence. Now going through the moveset for the weapon, I'll go through all of the attacks in both single-handed and two-handed. I'll also provide some damage examples so you have some context of what the output of each one of those is. So I hope you like thrusting, and I hope you like throwing spears, because that's what you're going to be doing a lot with this weapon. But that is one interesting call out with this weapon, is a lot of the strong attacks are actually ranged attacks where you throw the spear. But anyways, we'll go through those, and then we'll take a look at the skill Messmer's Assault after that, which is actually a really cool attack. Alright, so starting off in single-handed, we've got the regular attack combo, which is a 3 input. And then for the strong attacks, there's no combo. You just throw the spear, and you can just kind of spam that until you run out of stamina for the most part. And then similarly, the charged strong attack, you throw the spear, but you get this AoE explosion at the end for some additional damage. The roll regular attack, the roll strong attack, the backstep regular, backstep strong, and then we've got a sprinting regular, sprinting strong, which again, they're all just kind of throwing the spear. And then we've got a jumping regular and a jumping strong. Now switching to two-handed mode, go through the same sequence. So we got the regular attack combo, which again is a 3 input. The strong attack, strong charged attack, and then we've got the rolling regular, rolling strong, backstep regular, backstep strong, and then sprinting regular, sprinting strong, and then we've got finally the jump regular and the jump strong. One additional thing to call out with these strong attacks, so the numbers that I provided were basically right up next to the enemy, so you can see that it's going to do 1028 damage. However, those attacks seem to be pretty dependent on range, so if we even back up just a little bit, that's dropped to 925, 856, 261. So you do get some pretty drastic damage drop-offs, and then in terms of actual range, let's see how far back it goes. So it does have pretty decent range on the attack, but you're not really doing much damage, and you can see it just gets less and less as you back up. So it seems like that's about the range there. And then the strong charged attack, you get a little bit more range there. Let's see how far back we can go there. So that's maybe about the limit. Yeah, so you can get a little bit of that AoE damage at the end, but this is about the limit of that as well. Looking at the skill for the weapon called Messmer's Assault, so as mentioned, this has 3 total inputs that you can do. The first input is 15 FP, and then it's 9 additional FP for each of the 2 follow-ups, so that's 33 total if you go through the whole thing. So the first input just by itself looks like that. And then if you go through the full sequence, so the first input, the second, and then the final third. So the first input is kind of the single attack. That second input, you got that multiple thrust, and then the final slam down with the AoE spikes that come up on the ground. For a build with this weapon, this is one I actually kind of struggled with quite a bit, trying to decide what I wanted to go with. I'm really just not a big fan of the moveset, so trying to build around the main attacks it was a struggle. So kind of the main focus was using Messmer's Assault, which I actually do enjoy using quite a bit. I think that's a really cool skill, and it has a lot of damage, etc. So I'll talk about a couple different options I was kind of thinking about, and then if you want to incorporate any of that depending on your play style. But starting off, I will say Messmer's Helm is a good option to equip with this weapon. If you look at the description, you do get a damage bonus to the skill Messmer's Assault with that equipped. And then looking at the talismans, kind of just general damage bonus items. So the Fire Scorpion Charm to enhance the fire aspect damage of the weapon, Shard of Alexander to increase the damage of the skill Messmer's Assault. And then these were kind of where I was just like, what do I do next? So the two-handed sword talisman, again, that's just sort of a general damage bonus using it in two-handed mode. And then the claw talisman is what I've decided with currently, just because the jump attack based off the damage output and the weapon in itself, that's really the only move that I sort of like using. So the other option though I was playing around with was the axe talisman instead of the claw talisman, and then sort of building around that charged throw attack. So that will put out good damage if you're up close. The thing I don't like is that there's that, like we saw in the moveset demonstration, is that big range damage drop off. So from far away, it just really doesn't do any damage. But if you are up close with both these two talismans equipped, you can get some decent damage out of it. But again, it's that sort of mixed with the slow wind up as well. I'll also say I tried so hard in PvP to get one of these charged throw attacks off, and I don't think I hit a single person. So I kind of stepped away from that. And then some like other things, like I was thinking about doing the Aged One's Exaltation Talisman, just to sort of a buff build where you just go through a whole bunch of buff cycles, so you could get a madness buff on top of the other buffs as well. But anyways, that's kind of what I'm at. The other thing I was maybe thinking of, and I don't use shields a whole lot, but you could do a shield, like particularly one that doesn't have a skill attached to it, or you can use the no skill Ash of War. But this way you could use a shield, but then also you have your Messmer's Assault skill as well. So a couple options there, but ultimately this is what I am using currently. Just one more quick option I was thinking about as well is just sort of replacing any of these damage talismans with just going sort of more defensive. So you could do like the Great Shield Talisman for some physical damage, and the Pearl Drake Talisman for non-physical damage defense if you wanted to do that, or something like the Erdtree's Favor, so you can get some more HP and stamina and equip load. So you could sort of have these two for your Messmer's Assault damage bonus, and then do two additional ones for sort of support or defensive based talismans as well. And then adding on to that, wrapping things up, so I do have the Flame Shrouding Cracked Tear in my Wondrous Physics, so drinking that, again, kind of similar to the Fire Scorpion Charm, getting some extra fire damage, and then kind of the same default buffs, Flame Grant Me Strength, and Golden Vow for some additional damage buffs as well. So taking a look at some damage impact numbers with the build that I'm using, which again is essentially like the Messmer's Assault jump attack build. We'll get all of our buffs going and then look at the original base damage to the new build damage. So starting off, we'll get some of these buffs going. We've got Golden Vow, and then we've got Flame Grant Me Strength, and then we'll drink the Wondrous Physic. So originally the two-handed jump strong attack did 1,380 damage, and now that's increased to 3,017. And then for the skill, so originally the base damage on that was 7,325. And that increased to, what was that number? I have to freeze that. So that was 15,449. All right, so that was an overview of the Spear of the Impaler and the build that I'm using with this weapon. So now I'll just quickly show some gameplay examples with PvP and PvE so you can see what it looks like in action. All right, so wrapping things up real quick, that was a look at the Spear of the Impaler, upgraded to max level. Hopefully you found this video useful and maybe helped you decide if this is something you want to invest one of your Somber Ancient Dragon Smithing Stones to get it up to plus 10. Personally, I'm a little mixed on this weapon. I think it's right on the edge, teetering on the edge of sort of being in that like top tier area. On the one hand, the Messmer's assault skill I think is really fun, cool. Not only does it look really cool, the animations and everything are awesome with it, but it does put out a lot of damage. I just think the moveset is holding it back a little bit. I do like the ranged aspect of it. There are use cases where it comes in handy, especially with like flying enemies, if you saw in some of the gameplay. I just really don't like the damage output of it, especially the range drop-off. So as you get further away, you just see huge damaged range drop-offs, which I think holds it back a little bit. So, and then other than that, it's just a lot of thrusting with the moveset. So on the one hand, I like the skill a lot. I'm not a big fan of the moveset and the damage outputs of the various attacks. But other than that, I mean, I think it, again, it's just sort of, it's good but not great, I guess I would put it. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. Hopefully you found this video useful, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.